What's up guys, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're going to be looking at a Marvel Legends style Cyber Spider-Man. Now I don't know what line this technically came out with. I'm assuming it was the Spider-Man Classics, but I can't say for sure because I have no idea, other than it's a Spider-Man figure with Marvel Legends style articulation. That's really all I know about it. I know there's a gray version where the blue is more blackish gray and the red is still red, I believe. I don't have that to show you, unfortunately, but I do have the red and blue version, which I think is cooler anyway. So this is what you get to see. He stands 6 inches tall, almost exactly, maybe a little bit over, and is just loaded with really cool sculpt work and decent paint work. Let's just look over the figure to show you the sculpt. So the eyes kind of have this recessed thing going on. There's like a black cup going around the eye, which is really cool. It gives it a nice helmet type of look. He's got that silver chin strap thing with the back part. Going down his spine, you can see like a metallic spine and these like cybernetic muscle type things going on. The rib cage is cool, definitely armored up. The paint's not the best on this figure. There are some flaws, but it's definitely good enough to carry the figure through due to the good sculpt work. There's lots of hollow parts to make it look extra cool, extra robotic. The webbing is all sculpted. The spider is sculpted. He's got sculpted shoulder pads. Everything looks cool there. Little cybernetic parts there for the muscles. Really cool looking. Some more of the tendon type of tuber thingies going on in the forearm and the hands. Individually sculpted fingers. Some little hip things. And just lots of musculature and armor plating type stuff going on in the legs, which looks really cool. And then a little bit more in the feet, and he's got some heel pad things. So it's just a really nice looking figure. The one thing he's lacking on, aside from the paint being a little iffy, is he's missing some key points of articulation. There are really only two that bother me, so I'll point those out as I get there. The first one is the neck. It's really just a swivel, and it's kind of an angled swivel, so when you look the head to the side, he looks kind of cockeyed. But it's okay. I mean, it's not going to kill the figure. There's no real wiggle room up and down, and looking up would have been really nice, but he can't do it. The shoulders are on ball hinge, standard ball hinge shoulders, so that's fine. The pads do give a little bit, so they won't get in the way too much. He's got a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, a nice big elbow joint, which I think is cool. It lends itself to the armored type of look, and it's not going to break, so that's fine, and it looks good. Now, that's where the arm articulation stops. It looks like he would have a wrist swivel, but he doesn't, and that's my other major gripe with this guy. He really could use a wrist swivel. I mean, the sculpt looks great, but a wrist swivel would have been easy to splice in there, and they just didn't do it. The hands are different, however. This one's just kind of an open palm, and this one has a little bit of a pointer finger type of thing, a little bit of a stranger grip, but no wrist swivel, unfortunately. So it's going to limit the posability. Now, his ab crunch is not an ab crunch, which is another one that I don't really care for, but it's not going to kill it since it's not a standard Spider-Man figure. It's just the diaphragm joint. No pivoting, though. It's just a swivel. So the wrist and that are the two major ones. Then the head is another issue. So I guess there's three total. The hips, though, are pretty good because they're standard ball hinge hips. Pretty good range of motion. Nothing crazy good, but more than enough to get done what you want to get done probably, because there's a thigh swivel built in, double jointed knees, ankle pivot, which actually looks cool because they worked in the gray pivot discs. They kind of work out with that ratchet type paint job and sculpt, so that looks really cool. And then there's a little bit of an ankle rocker in each foot. If you trim some of the plastic out of there with a hobby knife, you'll get a little bit better out of that. And he's got silver feet, so that's cool. So he's got decent articulation. He's just missing a few key points of articulation, but still, nonetheless, it's a really cool figure, and you can probably get some cool posing done with him. And I don't know, it's just a really cool Spider-Man figure. So if you're a Spidey fan, I'd say pick this up. The gray and red one's cool, but I think the blue and red one, being the iconic colors, is just a little bit cooler. So if you can, try to get this one. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, some custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.